This week marks 25 years since all federal parties did something rare. They banded together behind a motion to wipe out child poverty in Canada by the year 2000. So struck were they by the kids living on next to nothing, they vowed to end it. A generation later, that deadline has long since passed, but incredibly today, the same number of children, nearly 1 million, are still poor. 1 million poor kids in Canada, living in places like Surrey, BC, Toronto, and St. John, New Brunswick. You don't have to look far to find the despair in St. John, New Brunswick. In the city's old North End, homes appear forgotten. People get by on as little as possible, and 3 out of every 10 kids are poor.
You're a goof today.
In Crystal Miner's house, there are 3 of them. 8-year-old Kira, 6-year-old Tyler,
You gonna help Mommy make some supper?
and Aaliyah, who's 12. The kids don't know it, but they are the 4th generation of this family that has grown up in poverty.
I don't want it burning.
It's howling at the moon.
Hey, remember the big container.
There isn't even money for milk to make tonight's supper.
I only had so much money on me, so this is what we're having. I'm just gonna add butter, and they don't know the difference anyway. So they're kids. As long as they have something to eat, they don't care.
The money ran out yesterday on groceries.
Hey, you know you're not supposed to climb there.
It will be another 5 days before Crystal can go back to the food bank, and another 8 before she gets her social assistance check.
A couple weeks ago, our gourmet was, we had pizza. We actually bought stuff and made pizza, and that was our meal. To them, it's a treat. Like it's that's our gourmet meal.
This is life in the margins.
Can you open up the bedroom door for Mommy? Okay, Tyler.
An apartment pocked with holes, windows needing to be fixed, a house drafty and cold.
Oh, there's Aaliyah. Good timing, Aaliyah.
Mommy! You forgot to catch up! Mommy!
What?
When you're on the table!
Crystal will eat later. Tonight, she's heading out to her job, cleaning offices.
Okay, I'll see you after, okay?
The kid's dad is in the picture, but he doesn't work because of a back injury.
Love ya.
I know.
So the 15 hours Crystal gets a week
I'll be back.
are crucial.
Love you.
The job may only be minimum wage, the lowest in the country here in New Brunswick. But it's the difference between a roof over their heads and the sidewalk.
Mary, do you have a smoke?
Like, I wish I had their support. Like, they support me, but I wish I had their support a little bit more.
So where do you live?
I live in Newton in an emergency house because I just moved from my foster care because I didn't like it there. I don't like living in foster care. I just want to be home, but I was kicked out of my house for doing drugs.
And you're pregnant now, is that right?
Yeah,
How far along are you?
a month or so.
How do you feel about that?
Scared. I'm not ready to have a kid.
Dallas Harris isn't the only young person who's come to Night Shift Ministries for a hot meal. Every night, it's someone. Just look for the small hands at the soup counter.
We have salami, ham and cheese, and PB&J. PB&J?
Like, I don't know if I'm going to give it up for an open adoption or keep it because I don't know what I'm going to do for financial. Buy its diapers, formula, like health care. I don't I'm so young, I don't make that much money. I don't even make $5 a day, so.
This refuge in one of the roughest parts of Surrey called Whalley was created by Marianne Connor.
Good, how are you?
Oh, not bad, thank you.
Here.
A former real estate marketer who was the 1%
That's my number.
until she was moved to ACT.
I started here 10 years ago, and I rarely saw children and teens on the street. It's the norm now. It's the norm.
Marianne didn't create her outreach for kids. It's just they kept coming. Today, you can find some of them inside, doing art before supper.
I'd say here I come like once, 3 times a week. If we didn't have food at our house and this wasn't here, then we would have no food to eat, pretty much.
Is that a scary thought?
Yes, because then I would be hungry.
Do you worry about having enough money in your house?
Sometimes, but not all the times.
When you do worry, what do you think? What's the thought that goes through your head?
Like if we don't have any money, like I'll just be asking my mom if we have any money. Like a couple of days ago, we didn't have any money. We came here and then back home, and then yesterday at school, I didn't know we were getting money, and my brother told me that we got money and we got a check, and I was happy, and then yeah.
Marianne's ministry is run entirely on volunteers and donations. Free dinners, free clothing,
I just need a smaller jacket.
Your turn.
Thank you.
and free nursing from their mobile care bus.
How bad does your pain get?
I think the youngest little girl I saw on the bus was 6 years old. Sometimes I'll get teenagers around 13, 14. I've definitely been seeing more youth than when I first started.
People come with colds, depleted nutrition. Most often, they start by saying, "I'm sorry for coming at all." There is the shame. And for 16-year-old Cameron Rodriguez, there is also the anger that no one gets it.
They don't understand. They've never had to, I don't know, have their power cut off and keep the gas stove turned on to keep the house warm or something like that. Or
Have you had to do that?
in the past, yeah, or like when our power got cut off, we've had to do that, or like hook up a generator or something like that. They've never had to experience that. They get everything handed to them, you know?
And what about size 11, like skater running shoes? No? All right, no worries.
One pair of 11 boots. Shoes.
All right.
Cameron needs a pair of steel-toed boots for his job, working in a warehouse after school, so he can help out his parents.
It's more just me covering my own food situation and giving them a bit of money or giving them a pack of smokes or something so they leave me alone for a little while and quit bugging me about owing them money or something like that.
So you have to pay for your own food?
At times. I just have a really big appetite and I don't want that to be a disadvantage to my parents because we don't have a lot, right?
Cameron is lucky. There are boots in his size.
I remember Tyler trying to act all tough and he had a pair of steel toes.
And while some may see a small victory, Marianne just sees the drowning need all along the strip. Next, the hopeless struggle to make ends meet.
I'm trying my hardest to find a job that's a better paying job, not just a minimum wage job. Good morning. How are you? Good.
At Centennial School, Monday mornings are the worst.
How
are you, hon? You got a lot.
Kids who may not have had proper nutrition over the weekend are hungrier and rowdier when they arrive for the breakfast program.
All right, get some breakfast. It's okay, guys.
For some kids, making it here at all is a challenge. Today, Kira and Tyler are running late.
You're grade 2, aren't you?
Breakfast is free here. So is lunch. So are snacks. Kira is tired and is struggling.
Oh, how come you're tired?
I didn't get enough sleep.
You didn't get enough sleep? Do you need to go to bed?
I kept getting nightmares.
All right, hurry up. It's learning time, right? Is our belly full enough that our brain's going to work? Awesome.
80% of the kids enrolled at Centennial have been flagged as needing help. So Principal Tina Estabrooks knows the obstacles to learning are numerous.
There's a lot in their book bags besides their notebooks in their lunch bag, right?
Often the hunger for a meal is greater than the hunger to learn.
I went to the store. Now I am.
I remember when we first started with the free lunch program, and it was heart-wrenching. I would watch children that would consume food until they vomited because they didn't know when they were going to eat again.
School for many of the kids here is the safest, warmest place they'll see all week. Outside these walls, you'll encounter the worst of the worst.
I've been in homes with dirt floors. I've seen children who have had one mattress on a floor with a candle for light and no electricity, no running water, no food. I've witnessed children at our lunch program putting food in their pockets so that they can take it home because their younger siblings aren't in school yet.
Giving a student a fighting chance requires a lot of work. Tina's staff will go buy groceries for families, send backpacks of food home for long weekends, even give them clothes.
We've had instances where children have worn the same outfit for weeks. I've had occasion when it's been months.
I woke up this morning and I just said to myself, and I said to Matthew, I said it's gonna be a better day. I said things are gonna go good. I said I'm waiting for someone to email me back for a job, and I'm hoping to get an email before 5.
Crystal's son Tyler is turning 7 next week, and there's no money for a gift.
A lot of people come here, so they get a lot of help.
Much like Kira's birthday last week, she has to get a toy at the Salvation Army.
It's just not fair because families and parents are trying. Like, I'm trying my hardest to find a job that's a better paying job, not just a minimum wage job. And the only way to get that job is you have to move out of St. John. You have to move out west. And I don't want to move out west.
This is the neighborhood Crystal grew up in. Not far from the crack house at the corner. At 32, she still lives here.
Ooh, love you.
And yet all she wants is to get out.
It seems like so much, and then some days I just feel like I want to give up. I just want to give up, and then I'm like, that's it, I'll just pack it up, just leave.
It's 5 p.m. Single father Alfonso Perez has just finished his first job and is now headed to his second, cleaning a high-rise in Toronto's financial district.
I watch the floors for the bathroom floor, for the kitchen, meeting room.
The next station is Lansdowne Station.
When you lived in Mexico?
house. I'm a lawyer. I'm a Mexican lawyer.
The next station is St. George. St. George Station.
We have a good guy, but the situation, that year, the situation we have, they push us to live in Mexico.
It was a controversial case Alfonso was handling that brought death threats against his family and forced them to leave. Now, every workday is 14 hours long and grueling.
We must to provide something good for our family. Doesn't matter what kind of job we do. This is the reason.
You do this for your children?
Yeah, of course. I do many things for them. Yeah.
Not long after Alfonso starts his second shift, his son George is arriving home from school. There's only the two of them in this apartment, so it's George's job to do the housework.
I have to sweep, mop, do laundry.
It's a big adjustment from the life they had in Mexico.
It was different from here. I mean, my parents weren't divorced. I could get whatever I wanted.
You could get whatever you wanted in Mexico?
Yeah, if I saw a toy, I would get it right away.
Today, they're 1 month behind in rent, and George is old enough to know eviction is a real risk. It's why his dad got the second job. They rent in the Woolner complex on Toronto's west side, home to many new Canadians.
When I was younger, there was times that my dad didn't even have money to take me to school, so I mean...
What do you mean, to get on the bus?
Yeah. Sometimes we had to like sneak onto the bus so we would go to school.
Sneak onto the bus?
Yeah, or I don't even know from where my dad got money to actually get TTC tickets.
The heartbreaking trade-off of earning enough to live here is that George barely sees his father.
What's it like being here alone every night?
Sometimes you just like the quietness, but other times you feel like you're just alone. You have no one here really, so.
Do you miss your dad?
Yeah.
The food bank in Surrey has a distinction no one wants. More youths come here for help than any other food bank in the country. 41% of their clients are under 18. Of those, the staff here noticed a particularly upsetting trend. Babies. So many that every Wednesday morning they run a program exclusively for expectant moms and their newborns.
Hi, ladies. Hi, how are you today? Good, how are you? Good. Size 3 diaper?
They warmly refer to the women who work here as the grannies. They make sure every baby receives a welcome kit when they're born.
How old is it?
6 months.
6 months?
6.5,
yeah. Great, thank you. Thank you.
And moms receive proper nutrition during pregnancy. There's no one type of client who comes here. New Canadians, single moms, teachers, tradespeople.
Which one? You gotta pick one, buddy. You have to pick one. I'll give you each one. Okay?
What do you say?
Crystal Marcoux has a full-time job just up the road at Surrey Memorial Hospital.
Size 2. Size 2.
But as a single mom on maternity leave, her benefits just aren't cutting it.
In BC now, it is so expensive to live, and
10 years ago, $20 would have went a long way with groceries. Nowadays, $20 doesn't get you anything.
All morning long, the stream of strollers keeps coming.
So it is a protein and snacks once every 2 weeks till the child turns 5. Hamper size 3 still the same 4 to 7.
So many babies that the food bank spends $10,000 on formula every 6 weeks. And even that, says Chris Hayward, isn't always enough.
I've even told clients sometimes go to the hospital because the hospital has baby formula because we can only supply a certain amount, right? We have some clients that come in here after 2 days and they're out of food because the food lasts for 3 to 4 days. But if you have no other resources, no other sources, what are you going to do? You have to come back here and they are hungry.
Where should we be in 10 years?
Yeah, not here. Hopefully there won't be any food banks in 10 years. That's the ideal situation, right? You know, would that be the greatest success story, that we wouldn't have the need anymore?
Is that realistic?
Is it realistic? No. But that's my hope, right? Right?
Next, failing our children.
I want to be clear on this. When it comes to your motion, tabled in 1989, we failed.
There's no question we failed.
This is a national horror. This is a national shame. It is a horror and a shame that we should put an end to. Let us affirm today in this Parliament that as a nation, by the beginning of the 21st century, only 11 years away, child poverty in this great Canada will be a relic of the past. Thank you very much.
I want to be clear on this. When it comes to your motion, tabled in 1989, we failed.
There's no question we failed.
Was there ever a plan in place to achieve this goal?
No.
Every so often, child poverty in Canada hits the radar once again. As recently as 2010, a House of Commons committee tabled a report recommending a federal strategy on poverty. But again, the report went nowhere.
The desire was there for a while, but it didn't persist. And I have my own theory about that. And my own theory is that kids don't vote. Adults vote.
What do we have to do to make a serious dent in this issue right away?
Right away, raise the minimum wage. Right away, increase the child tax benefit. Right away, put money into low-income housing.
Ed Broadbent points to countries like Norway and Denmark, where the child poverty rate is a fraction of ours. Small measures are being taken in Canada, like recent proposals to increase child tax credits. But until major changes are made, many living in the margins will rely on a patchwork of services for survival.
Will it happen in your lifetime?
Wow, you know, I'm so old now. I mean, the probability of this happening in my lifetime maybe isn't great, but I would like to see it.
I mean, moving to Canada is hard enough, but seeing your parents struggle to provide basic needs for you is hard and hard to watch.
Next stop, St. John's Road.
tired. I feel tired. But happy because I'm close to my house, my apartment.
Every night is it like this? Every night
Yeah.
is hard.
Yeah.
It's really difficult. That's why I was saying, I was like, well, now I can't get a job because now I got to go to all these appointments, and I'm trying to work towards going home. I'm trying to finish my school, and it's kind of hard to all do this once. It's really stressful. Like, I didn't want to get pregnant. I don't think any 16-year-old wants to get pregnant.
Here's my favorite dress.
Then that's your favorite brown dress.
Or you get told when you're cashing your check at the bank, oh, there's where my money went to pay for her to take care of her 3 kids. It's not right. Just because I'm on income assistance doesn't make me any less of a person. I try. I'm not this person that just wants to sit on their butt and do nothing. I want a job. I'll get a better job. I'll get a better place for my kids.
Next, refusing to go back in the closet.
But as we say at Proud FM, have a great week and God save the Queens.